Yes, 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 yes. We are here. We are very much here, and we prompted you to have this conversation with us today, even though it truly is just us speaking through you as we are going to read your mind, as you were wanting clarification on the information we provided for you. And so you experienced going home when you did that 2 session healing meditation. And from our perspective of what happened to you after that was your soul essence was still there, very much far away there. And even though there is no such thing as time and space, you were not present here. In fact, you just you unconsciously could feel this, but also with your mindset, you knew you were not fully here, fully present. And you knew that as you were coming to, but it was like a soul aspect who hasn't been fully in control and in charge. And it was almost as if you left the bigger soul essence left the body just temporary, while the smaller soul essence was home alone. And that was fine. That was, there's nothing, and you know this, but we're trying to explain this because people have been feeling very absent minded, very non present. We would like to say a saying that you understand, that is away with the fairies. And this is part of what some people think was a daydream, or just a sense of something else that's not your daily normal routine. And so the soul aspect could easily get consciously home. This is something she doesn't often do because she's so busy here on Earth. So this was something she could feel our energy, and she weaved in depth and deepness consciously through those sessions. And as we were healing past the one part she hasn't healed yet, and it's not because it's broken or has any issues, she hasn't been able to heal her mourning home. That pain of being homesick can feel broken, can feel so confused, so can feel so isolated, can feel so insignificant here. And her home is a place where her family goes every now and then when they have completed their passions, helping physical planets, helping physical beings. This is something they do as a collective. It is not it is not the physical home she craves for, it is the connections of her soul family. And so consciously she slipped deeper than she has before consciously, because she was doing this in her days, and she merely went there for a rebalance to calm the craving that she didn't realize she had as such. And so it was momentarily that her soul went there consciously to know all is well. All is well there. All is well there. Consciously, it's too distant, too foreign. She can't understand it fully because the 3D overlay is still very firm, as she needs to focus on 3D to be able to help assist with 3D. And this is part of her contract, is to still be able to assist people. And if she spent too much of her time away with the fairies, she would not be interested in connecting with others as much as she does. And her soul family are not fairies, but yet they are so magical that you could say fairies, but not any fairies that live here on Earth. They're not elementals. And so it just she just found herself there to then just have this, we want to say breath, but she wasn't there in the physical body. And it just helped her so much. But she realized that this was our intention for that second session, was to be able to heal things from other lifetimes, including other lifetimes off planet. And while there is nothing that has ever hurt her on her home planet, on her home space, where her home family reside, being away from there hurts her. And so this is why she found herself there. And this is why she could notice the consciousness of the other soul that hasn't taken full ownership of the body yet, nor would it, questioning itself suddenly with stage anxiety of performance. And this was purposeful. And when she did come back fully into the body just momentarily afterwards, the memories and the experiences of the living is still being recorded. And so when her full soul essence, well, her bigger soul essence came back, she was able to simultaneously understand what had been going on with the thoughts and the thinking. She thought she was consciously aware of being in two different places. And this is mind-bending. But also she thought it was amusing that the soul essence that was still here in the body was even sort of thinking, oh shoot, what is my name again? And she knew this was not her normal way of thinking. And so it is not like she had to walk out. She had a day trip, a momentary day trip home. And this is purposeful. And this also leads us to her experience, what we were showing her just prior to when she started this channeling today. We were looking inside her inner work closet, shall you say, and we were showing it to her as a closet with shelves. And we know we showed her that closet, and it had lots of boxes to unpack, only what you would call merely years ago. And she has decluttered that closet. She has opened up all of those perspectives, all of those challenging experiences, and reference them with a new perspective. a new approach. She has seen the lessons where she should have been able to empower herself and where there was opportunities for more growth for her. She sees that there were times where she was overreactive, and so she has gone through all of those boxes to forgive herself and to see again this was another opportunity for her to realize that she was not in a balance and harmony as she needed to be. There is so much that she has explored about herself. She doesn't feel like it is self-indulgent. It is about self-reflection of where she has and what she has learned this lifetime. And so what we have shown her now is there being only small, little, tiny ornaments left in this closet. And she's recognizing she was born with those ornaments in her closet. And when she came here, she had those. And they are not ordinary ornaments. They are trinkets of keys. They are information, you could say, for those people who understand this label, your Akashic records. And we're saying she can see several boxes of many different places where she has had many different lives. And there is much she has mastered, but she keeps being diligent, focusing on this 3D life because she knows this is the most important to focus on. But we are wanting her to say now you have more access to this information if you choose, because there is nothing in your inner closet left for you to hold on to. You've already processed this. And so now when you keep doing those 2 sessions back to back, you'll be able to go to these other places if you choose to experience and remember those lessons. They are not as applicable as you would hope. So they are only experiences of off-worldly experiences versus reference points to be able to help you master 3D living on Earth. And so it's the difference between holiday living and work living, daily lives. And we just wanted her to remind herself of who she is and to not be embarrassed about some of those positions she has lived, because they're just roles again. And she has many various lifetimes of planet. She's done lots of hard work and lots of fun work in other lifetimes. She must never forget that. But when she feels that people are overlooking her and dismissing her and being 3D, she knows that it's just where they're at. She knows that they are still struggling. But this is a reminder to her that for those souls who are overlooking her, they're only judging the meat suit. They're only judging the gender, the location of where she lives. They're short-sighted. And this can be painful for her because she knows she's worked very hard and diligent to be able to collect information for people to be able to see and learn and grow from and support themselves, to encourage themselves to be able to do their own channeling, to be able to get their own perspectives, to be able to open up that closet of their spirituality and to be able to unpack it as feverish as possible, because this is the time to do so. This is the time to heal. This is the time to release. This is the time to let go, because this is home time for many. And people are homesick. And if she feels homesick, she is concerned for all those others who are desperately homesick and don't even understand where their homes are. can't even understand how they can't be comfortable in their own home on this planet in this lifetime they've only ever known consciously. This is a surprise to her, the emotions, because she focuses on moving forward to see how she can inspire others, to encourage others to be brave and confident in exploring themselves. While it can be self-indulgent to look at other lifetimes off planet and even other lifetimes on this planet if you're looking for your hero title, you can be the heroes this lifetime, and it's so easy to do such. You must be able to do your inner work, respect all lessons, the ones you mastered, the ones you failed, we could say, with labels, and see if you can repeat those successes with positivity, empowerment, and with an enlightened approach. Every moment you are creating choices to be able to empower yourself or not, or distract yourself or not. And we see some not wanting to step up. They feel very entitled, and they're wondering why they're struggling so much now. And yet we say, look at your inner work. Look at your judgments. Look at your resentments. Those are the big ones, our dear friends. We say to you with love that finding that balance and neutral is significant. We are finding that the sweet dog has found our energy field. And this sweet dog has fallen into its own deep slumber. And we are noticing the breath and the snoring. We are taking a moment. We understand many of you have very attached emotional pets, whether they are emotionally attached to you or vice versa, or a codependency. Use all the tools that you need to get through your days, our friends, with balance. Enjoy your worlds, enjoy your life. Please remember to be of service as well. You will notice when you have complete balance in your life, that harmony feels so empowering that you want to be of service more. It doesn't take from you as it once did. Energy of people shouldn't completely drain you. They're not draining you of your high frequency. You are merely holding on to their density. There is a difference when you can't even notice your own high frequency and you can only focus on density. There is inner work for you. There is energy work for you. And we have given you a tool to be able to balance all density from your bodies and all density from your mindsets. This is an advanced tool from us to be able to help you. And many people are realizing the significance of these. And while we are saying use all tools in balance, any tool is supposed to be a training practice. Think of it like this. Everything is like a trike, a little balance bike, and you're learning how to you're learning how to ride. You're learning how to move forward and take full control at a faster pace. And you don't need training wheels, and you don't need parents to helicopter you, to hold you. You can actually learn quite quickly to master this yourself without even hands taking the wheel. And so there is many analogies we could quickly say to you. But this is all to train you to know that you control your mindsets, you control your bodies, you control your lives. until your life contract kicks in, until your guides kick you into place to remind you to step up. And we jest with you now because we want to shift the energy of this body who is so surprised of her emotions. She can be too distracted wanting to be of service, and so she has forgotten to enjoy some of the other aspects that she can explore. She doesn't really want to be distracted with other lifetimes, even though we have prompted her many times recently to focus on and explore again the dragon life and also the other off-planet life. That is, we can feel her resisting because she doesn't feel like there is significance in those lifetimes now. But we're saying the authoritative position of the dragon on that planet is an important imprint that she had for her to be able to walk into this lifetime now, to be able to have the confidence. She has the skill set to be able to have integrity, to be able to reach higher dimensions, higher realities, to be able to get as much support for her. What her true passion is for her purpose and life contracts, the second wave volunteers. And this was a group, this is her primary directive, is to be able to support those. And this was a smaller collective, you could say. We know that she has labeled, and we have gone with it. The Arcturian is one collective, and the Palladians is one collective, and that is the truth. But there are groups, clubs, you could say, committees, community-based projects, you could say. We've gone too human with labels. We could say there are many different beings being guided by different collectives who have come in to be doing group projects, such as the second wave volunteers, such as the first wave volunteers, such as the third wave volunteers, such as all independent, smaller collective volunteers that haven't been officially labeled as such. And so there was a push to have the first wave come in to be able to shine incredible advanced energy onto this planet to be able to help easily with the shift, and that was not successful. They were all prepared, and this was traumatizing for all the souls who had high expectations of this. And so the second wave volunteers had a new approach, and this was significant, and this had more integrity and intention and more a sense of more urgency, because these first wave volunteers were struggling at such a rapid rate. The second wave volunteers knew that they needed to come and assist as fast as possible in some regards. So this was challenging. We have distracted ourselves. The primary focus was to be able to support all who came here, to be supporting of all. And so the second wave volunteers are not obviously one collective. They are a bunch of many, many, many brave collectives that have sent their they're representing different collectives for significant purposes. And so as she is noticing, the second wave volunteers who are Arcturian are very drawn to her messages that she shares consciously, and our messages that we share through her, because there is a unique frequency that is being transmitted through the language and the codes and the sounds of the sessions, plus the energy. And so she is sending out messages to the second wave volunteers to empower them to remind them. And we can say it's a bigger group than just people who have only had first lifetimes here. Many who have had lifetimes here and love Earth, love Gaia, and love the human project and love the Earth project. They've also decided to be of service again, to be able to help assist. They really wanted the shift to occur here and for all to emerge into a fifth dimension here. And so this is where you see and find many frustrated and bitter volunteers, bitter people, bitter light workers who are not impressed with the struggles of life here because they have not accepted other beings' life contracts, including Gaia's. And so there is always much to be said because this is a very leveled experience here on Earth. Like all Earths, like all planets, like all experiences, you can have it so fractured and multidimensionally fascinating for each independent being. And while you're dealing with many beings here, it can be very complex. And so what we could be talking about for some groups may not resonate with other groups because this is not their projects. And some are noticing that they are having extra assistance in souls in their physical bodies, which are coming in and they are resonating with this information. It is not a strange thing to use vehicles like taxis, and you know that there are taxis that drive around your cities all day long, and you don't necessarily know how many people have been in the taxis when you jump into a taxi, and yet you know that is part of the service. The vehicle of the taxi is moving around in physical, and beings are hopping into that taxi for a drive, for a ride to a destination. And we're saying this is the same as your physical bodies. Your physical bodies are vehicles, and they can be taxis for many souls who want to come for a ride, for a moment, for an experience, for a relationship, for something to help. This is soul level contracts. You're not being invaded, you're not being possessed, you're not being anything negative. You are helping a soul essence to be able to have a physical embodiment of a physical vehicle, a physical body, to be able to have a soul experience. And you can't tell consciously all the time when this happens, just like you can't tell consciously all the beings that are supporting you here now. And that is purposeful, to focus on your lives, your daily routines, and the experiences that life on Earth has to offer you. And so we understand that this is a lot. We could always talk more, but we're very consciously aware that many people tune out the words and tune into the energy, and that is also fine. But we are saying there is much perspectives of information given to you through these sessions, and we invite you all to re-listen to the sessions again, because there's always going to be a new aspect of information that you need and still question, and you may ask us to guide you to the most appropriate session. And you may wonder why. I've already heard this one. Why would I bother listening to this one again? You'll question us, and we will say because there is something still in here that you have not been able to unpack, open up, and explore. We are very excited for your future's experiences, and we honor all who honor themselves of their life contracts and use their free will to empower themselves, to empower others, to love themselves and love others, and respect all as equals. Respect all as soul family, as brothers and sisters. You are all one, and what you do to one, you do to all. And we say this with love.